Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Stephanie, your double board certified critical care physician who works with physicians that are struggling with their jobs, burnt out with their careers, or who just want some career advice. Through my books, webinars, coaching, and speaking, I help physicians discover alternative jobs and careers in medicine so that they can practice medicine on their own terms. Now, I know it's not Tuesday because, we normally have our discussions on Tuesday. I know that it's Wednesday, but I just felt the need to come and do a Facebook Live to do a little bit of teaching and encouraging because I've been noticing a trend recently. And this trend, is that physicians are losing their jobs. Over the past week, I have talked to several physicians who have lost their jobs unexpectedly. And I just wanted to come and provide some encouragement, but also to give some concrete steps on what you should do if you find yourself receiving notice that you have been terminated from your job. So before we get started, I have a couple of requests that I need for you to do. If you're watching this, let me know you're watching it. Say hi, show me some love in the comments. If you like the comments, whatever I say, please press the like button. If you love it, please press the love button. Hi, Dr. Edwards, how are you? If you know somebody who can benefit from this, either tag them or share this with them. And if you are watching this on replay, please type replay in the comments. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And hey, Dr. Nicole Edwards is somebody who is so supportive of me and very active in our Facebook group. And I just love her to pieces. So like I said, we're going to talk about what you should do when you lose your job. So you just lost your job. Now what? So what happens when you get that dreaded call to come meet with your boss and you walk into the office and hey, Dr. Carrie Ann, how are you? You walk into the office and guess what? Not only your boss is sitting there, but some people from human resources are sitting there. And you get this sinking feeling in your stomach. So what should you do? So I got a couple of steps for you to kind of help you through this process. So the first thing that you should do is to keep your mouth shut. When you are in these situations in which you are in these meetings and you have just been served notice, telling you, they're laying out this thing as to why they no longer need your services. Be quiet. Don't try to argue your point. Don't sit up here and try to say why you're such a great employee. Don't agree to anything. Don't sign anything. Don't discuss anything. Be quiet, because you need to realize when you are in this situation, anything that you can say will be held against you. They will try to get you to sign off on anything. I was talking to a doctor and she said that when they called her in the office and told her that her services were no longer needed, not only did they want her to train her replacement, and she was being replaced by a mid-level, so they wanted her to train her replacement. They also wanted her to sign a document agreeing to a 30-day termination notice as opposed to a 90-day termination notice. So keep your mouth shut. Don't sign anything. Don't say anything. Don't discuss anything. Don't agree with anything. Also, resist the urge to get on Facebook and blast your employer. Keep your mouth shut. Keep the stuff off of Facebook because trust and believe, your current employer is looking at your Facebook pages and your future employers are looking at your Facebook pages. And so they do not, they don't take kindly to these kind of things. So keep your mouth shut when you find yourself in a termination situation. Like I said, resist the urge to badmouth your employer. Be quiet. Be quiet. Nobody else needs to know this. Right. Let's see here. Dr. Edwards said, say nothing on Facebook. Dr. Nicole Washington said, don't hit send. Everyone is watching. Exactly. Don't sign anything. Be quiet. Exactly. Now, this is what you have to also do. Maintain your composure and your professionalism at all times, because I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. When they call you into that office to say that, you've been terminated without cause, and here's your 90-day notice. most of the time they are not going to let you work out that 90-day notice. So you will probably get escorted off the premises right then and there. They will be like, give me your pager, give me your ID, turn in your passcodes. Oh, because they've already kicked you out of the computer system, just so you know that. So they're going to walk you to the office in front of everybody to your office so you can get your stuff, and they will walk you out of the hospital. They will walk you out of your office. They will do this for one reason, which is they want to make an example out of you to show the other employees that you've been fired, to kind of try to get everybody else to do what administration wants them to do. Okay, so you have got to make sure you maintain your composure and your professionalism. This is not the time to act a fool. This is not a time to curse everybody out. You don't do this because you never want it to be about your response. Okay, keep it together. Now, when you get in the car, cry, scream, call whoever, but maintain your professionalism and your composure, because I know what's going to happen. They're going to be like turning your pager, your ID, your keys. They're going to escort you off the property like you're a common criminal. And Dr. Edwards said, yeah, been there, done that. Right. But they nicely pay me for the 90 days. They shame you with that walk. They do that on purpose, and then try to explain it, saying that you're not fighting. Right. They do that walk of shame on purpose because everything in corporate America, y'all, everything is a mind game. See, healthcare organizations are run by business people, and they have to control their employees, which you are as a physician, or their medical staff, by doing certain things. And so if they have a couple of high profile firings, that instills fear on people. How do you know if somebody's fired? Well, them just not showing up the next day is not good enough. They've got to make a public display of it. So know that it's really not personal. They're doing what their standard operating procedure is, but you need to make sure that you maintain your composure and your professionalism at all times. This right here is the most important thing. Lawyer up. And the reason why you want to obtain legal representation is because you want to make sure that your rights are preserved, because these people will try to get you to they're trying to trick you and get you to sign away your rights. Like if you have a 90-day notice, they might try to be like, well, since you don't have to work the rest of your 90 days, we're not going to pay you for the rest of your 90 days. Well, that's not what that contract says. So make sure you know your rights. And that's why you need to have a lawyer. What does your contract say? Make sure that your employer adheres to the terms of your contract. Another reason to get a lawyer is to make sure that your employer has followed the law in terms of their termination proceedings as it pertains to you. You also want to make sure that you want to maintain your reputation. So, you don't want your employer saying negative things about you to your potential employer. So a way to do that is to maintain legal representation, so they'll kind of know not to mess with you. And another reason you want to get a legal representation is because it makes it easier for you to have another job when you know that you have left a current job with everything tied up and everything taken care of. Now, there are certain things that you need to address, that you need to have your attorneys address when you are going through this job transition, this job termination. First of all, you need to make sure whether or not it's a termination for cause or without cause, okay? That's huge. Without cause termination, whatever, they just don't want you working there. For cause termination is serious. You need to get an attorney to kind of help you with that process. So you need to make sure it's either for cause or without cause. The other thing is an attorney can help you with is whether or not you're being let go can be termed a resignation versus a termination. And those types of terms do matter. So an attorney can help you with that. You also want to make sure that you get a good recommendation from your employer. If they won't give you a good one, they at least need to give you a neutral one, because you need to make sure that since you've been terminated, you will not have any problems moving on to your next position. The other thing is you have to figure out who's going to pay malpractice coverage. If they terminated you without cause, I think you have a good argument to for them to pay your tail insurance. That's something else, because that's huge. Having to obtain your own tail coverage can cost tens of thousands of dollars. So make sure you know who's going to pay that malpractice tail coverage. See about getting released from your no compete clause. So, like, if you're let go for no reason of your own, there should be no reason why you can't go across the street and get a job. So if they're terminating you without cause, make sure they release you from that no compete clause. Make sure that you are paid all the money owed to you. So you might be due a productivity bonus. You might have unused sick leave, vacation, PTO. All of that adds up. So make sure you and your attorney figure that out, so you know that you're not leaving money on the table when you walk away from that job. And you also have to discuss what's going to happen to your benefits. You are going to lose your health insurance coverage, but when's the last date you're covered under your employer's policy? What is the process for signing up for COBRA? What is the process for rolling over your 401k? What do you do with the disability insurance? Is that disability insurance a portable policy that maybe you can keep on your own, or do you have to get rid of? Does that go away when you're no longer working with your employer as well? So these are all very important financial and legal issues that you need to discuss with your attorney, because if you don't know about these things, you could be leaving money on the table and missing out on some things as well too. So that's why it is very important to get legal representation when you are in the process of leaving any job. You want to make sure you're not missing anything. Now, this is important. I'm trying not to take it personally. If you are terminated without cause and you have done nothing wrong, and it's just a matter of, the company's financial model is changing. I was talking to a physician, and she said that her organization has decided that 50% of their providers need to be mid-level providers. So that means they're going to fire 50% of their doctors. And even though that is just, in my mind, deplorable, there's nothing that she did wrong, and there's nothing that she could have done to prevent this. So therefore, this is something that she shouldn't take personally. Realize that medicine is a business. Medicine is a business. And just like any other business, these healthcare corporations operate in their best interest and not in yours. So whatever they need to do in order, in their mind, to run a more efficient and profitable organization, they're going to do it. And even if that means firing some good doctors, they're going to do it too. So try not to take it personally if you are terminated without cause. Now, that being said, if you are terminated with cause, you need to figure out what happened, and you need to make sure that you don't do that again either, because you can't just keep going to jobs and getting fired because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. But for those of you and us who have been let go through no fault of your own, some people have showed up to work and they're like, sorry, you don't have a job because the clinic's shutting down at the end of the week. Try not to take that personally. It hurts your feelings, but if there was nothing that you did wrong and nothing you could have done differently, realize that this is just par for the course in terms of medicine being a business. Now, you're going to have to give yourself time to mourn and reflect. And this is like what I like to call, this is Wednesday, so we do Wellness Wednesdays. And a lot of physicians need to start taking some time off to reflect and to regroup. And sometimes, losing a job, although it is stressful and it hurts your feelings and you might be feeling angry and betrayed and upset, it may end up being a blessing in disguise, because it may give you a time to pause and say, okay, what do I want to do out of life? And a lot of people who end up losing jobs end up realizing that it's actually a blessing in disguise, and they kind of maybe saw it coming. Something just kind of told them, maybe it's time for me to go. There's something else that I need to be doing. So this can be an opportunity to kind of just move on, but it takes time because it hurts your feelings. You are grieving, you are mourning, you're losing your friends that you worked with, you're losing your daily routine. So it's going to take a while to grieve that loss, but it's also offers an opportunity for you to refocus and reflect. What is it you want out of life? What do you want out of a career? This may be an opportunity for you to shift gears and take your career in another direction. So give yourself plenty of time to mourn the loss of your job and to reflect on what you want your life and career to be like moving forward. So Dr. Edwards said it's always been a blessing in disguise. Don't take it personal. Without cause really does hurt. It does. It does hurt your feelings. And you just got to take some time just to work through those. But with that being said, hey, get back in the saddle. And the reason I say this is because start looking for a new job ASAP. Because if you start looking for a new job as soon as possible, it's going to boost your confidence because you're going to see, you know what? There are a lot of job openings for physicians. So even though things didn't work out with this current job, I am still in demand. That's a confidence boost. And then the sooner you start looking for another job, the sooner you'll get another job. And that lessens this potential income interruption that you're dealing with. So even though your feelings are hurt, you're dealing with all of these emotions, dust off your CV, update your CV, get back in that market, because you will realize that physicians are still highly desired. We still have to take care of patients. There are patients out there that need us. There are healthcare organizations that need us. And just because things didn't work out with your current job doesn't mean that there's not a better job right around the corner. So Dr. Edwards said, usually I wasn't happy there anyway, so it was the Lord's way of saying time to go. And I always moved into something better. I mean, I've got to say amen to that, because y'all know that I am unemployable. And I say this jokingly, but permanent jobs don't work out for me because I have like an entrepreneurial spirit. So that's why I do locums. But I will tell you that every single time that I have left a job and transitioned to another job, the Lord has increased me. I've gone from, this job in this situation to this job in another situation with a better pay, working with wonderful people, wonderful administrators. So, it is not the end of the world when a job comes to an end, or in my case, a locums assignment comes to an end. There are better opportunities right around the corner, and people do appreciate you. And there are wonderful organizations to work for who appreciate you and who value you and who value your patience. So get back in the saddle. Yes, Dr. Edwards, we are in demand. They need us. Absolutely. So be encouraged. Be encouraged. And the thing is, consider doing locums. You guys knew this locums plug was coming, but I'm telling you, if you find yourself without a job, if you find yourself in a situation in which you have been let go and you did not see it coming, consider doing locums work. You can do locums work for long term, or you can do it for short term. And this is important because it gives you a source of income. While you're trying to find another permanent job, your bills don't stop just because you don't have a job. So you may be able to slide right into a locums assignment really quickly, something short term, so that you can keep some income coming in. And doing locums work while you are in between permanent jobs allows you to take some time to relax. It allows you to take some time to reflect and focus, because you don't have to be in such a rush to get a permanent job because you're doing locums, and so you have some money coming in. And then that way you won't be desperate. You won't be in a situation in which you just have to take the first thing that comes, or sign the next contract that comes through. Locums buys you time. And like Dr. Nicole says, Sallie Mae don't care. Exactly. Sallie Mae does not care that you are unemployed, because those student loan payments, or your mortgage company does not care that you are without a job. That mortgage payment is going to come out the same day every single month. So that's why I say, while you are searching for a permanent job, get some locums jobs lined up so that you can keep the money coming in. So, being let go from your job is stressful, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a situation in which you don't know what to do. If you take these steps, and I'm gonna go back through these real quick just in case somebody just jumped back on here, because I think this is important. You take these steps to help you transition from one job to a next. Always maintain your professional composure. Keep your mouth shut. Don't agree to anything. Don't discuss anything. Don't discuss anything with your employers. Don't discuss anything with your coworkers. Keep your mouth shut. All communication from henceforth is between your attorney and your employers. Resist the urge to get on Facebook and social media and talk about what happened. This is not the time or the place to do that. That kind of thing can come back and end up biting you in the rear end, if you know what I mean. Resist the urge to badmouth your employer. Make sure you're going to maintain your professionalism and your composure, because they will give you that walk of shame when they escort you out that building. But just keep it together. Keep it together. Make sure you lawyer up. You need to get an attorney who is an expert in healthcare law and physician employment. Obtain legal representation, because you want to make sure your rights are protected. You want to make sure your employer has followed the law. You want to make sure you maintain your professional reputation so that it's easier for you to get another job. There are certain legal and financial issues that you need to address, whether it is a termination for cause or without cause, whether or not they're going to treat this as a termination versus a resignation. Who pays your malpractice tail coverage? Can you get released from that no-compete clause? Make sure you are due all monies that are owed to you for production bonuses, unpaid sick leave, vacation time, PTO time. Make sure you know what to do regarding your health insurance, when that last date of coverage is, how to sign up for COBRA, how to roll over your 401k, and whether or not you can keep your disability insurance policy on your own. Try not to take it personally. Medicine is a business. Medicine is a business, and these corporations are operating for their best interest and not yours. So they're going to do whatever they need to do to run a profitable company in order to run a more efficient company. So that means if they have to fire physicians to do it, that they're going to do it. Try not to take it personally. Give yourself some time to mourn and to reflect, regroup, refocus. Know that your feelings are going to be hurt and you're going to be in your feelings for a while. Accept that and work through the process. But get back in the saddle. Dust off that CV. Start looking for another job, because then you'll realize that there are other great jobs out there. There are wonderful people to work for. There are wonderful people to work with. And just because things didn't work out with your current job doesn't mean that your dream job doesn't mean that that's not just one phone call or text or email away. So get back in that saddle and get back in the game. And also consider doing locums work until you decide what you want to do and are able to find the ideal permanent job for you. Use locums as a bridge to transition between jobs. Be sure to download your free copy of my locums ebook, because it is a nice, concise, easy read to help you get started to do locums. So go to bit.ly, Dr. Stephanie Locums ebook. If you have any questions or concerns, please message me on Facebook. Join my Facebook group, Creating Careers in Medicine, if you are a physician. And please share this broadcast with anybody that you know who may need to hear this. If they're considering leaving a job, or they've been let go, or they just want to know the process, please share this with them. This is Dr. Stephanie. Thank you for joining me. We will talk soon, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.